Good evening, and welcome back to Science and Sorcery, the show where science communicators play Dungeons and Dragons. We are back with session 44 of our campaign, Witness to Ruin. And my name is Dagmar, and I'm joined by my players, Rachel, Sam, Khalil, and Alex. Shaking up the order, at least I try to. Before we get back into our campaign, where hopefully some secrets will finally be revealed, couple of quick announcements. First of all, you can join us every week this month, Sam, for our Moment of Awesome streams, in which Sam talks to really cool people in the TTRPG community. Who's up next, Sam?
I don't actually remember who is this week.
Mystery guest!
But it's Thursday at 12:30 p.m. BST every week. But I can't remember who's this week.
And having had a sneak peek at the upcoming interviews and who's going to be chatting with Sam, they're all such a cool mix of fascinating, talented, interesting, cool people from the gaming world. So check it out.
Except for this week's guest, apparently.
No.
Stochastic slander.
Oh no, I know who it is. It's Gina, who's technically voted this year as the best D&D player in the world at the Crit Awards.
Wow! Hey, there we go. See, bullying Sam made Sam remember.
Made Sam go and check his notes.
Exactly. So be sure to tune in on Thursday at 12:30 BST. We're still in BST. What else is not going to be in BST, it's going to be in GMT, is our one-shot this month. On the 28th of October, come and join Sam and Rachel for a Cryptid Creeks stream. It's going to be nice and spooky for the Halloween season. 7 p.m.
Weird little
here
guys.
on this channel. It's a Monday, so it'll be instead of our Witness to Ruin streams, which is great. Right. And if you also want to be voted the best D&D player in the world, you're going to need some TTRPG supplies. And if you need some because you don't have any or you don't have enough, go to valkyrierpg.co.uk and use code Sci and Sorcery for 30% off. They're great. We love them. They love us. Their dice love me. We're all happy about it.
But yeah.
That's a you problem. Right, and with that, a very quick recap of what happened last time. The Finger Blasters made their way to the peak of Mount Ekric, where the planar seal of Vias sits. Upon arriving there, they found a Furbolg, Carrick, whose last Shadegrove, I know my own NPC names, who appeared to be doing something to the seal with a dragonborn wizard of some kind. A fight broke out, a lot of cultists got flung off the side of a cliff, M threw themselves off the side of a cliff, but the party succeeded in bringing down Carrick in eagle form as he carried an unconscious Artemis, the dragonborn, away. However, as M reached out, once again attempting to vortex warp an enemy, their plan was foiled yet again by a mysterious figure down on the ground below, casting counterspell, making off with the dragonborn's body, but leaving the Furbolg. And that is where we left off, as Nimbo cradles one of the cultists, an unconscious elven man, and Muck, looking around for more enemies, spots an abandoned rucksack, which seems to have been recently placed upon the ground.
I look at M. Can you get me over there to that Furbolg, really quickly? Within the next, 40, 50 seconds?
Well, I'm 30 feet below you.
Oh, shit, levitating up.
Yeah.
I lean over the cliff. Can you get me to that Furbolg within, the next, 40 seconds or so?
Right. Let me... How high up am I? What, 20
You
feet,
are
did you say?
currently 20 feet off the ground.
Okay, I'll be like, okay, this is gonna hurt me. And then I will cast Vortex Warp on you. My concentration will drop, and I will move
Vortex
you
Warp
towards.
concentration?
Well, I'm levitating, which is a concentration spell.
But if Vortex Warp
Vortex
isn't
Warp
concentration,
concentration.
Does it
then
not
you can
break?
still concentrate
No.
and cast it.
Yeah, you can cast non-concentration spells while you're concentrating on a spell.
Fine. I'll do that then. But I'm gonna have to push through and take a level of exhaustion.
Okay. Yeah. You first level of exhaustion. It's been a while since we've been there. Disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws. Or no, just ability checks. Cool. Yeah, you push through. You take this level of exhaustion. And Nimbo, you feel... I assume you put the elf down, or you at least
Yes.
drop him. He would fall otherwise, but that could kill him.
What?
As
No,
you-
it would. No, because he would just fall
No,
to.
because it would just fall. Yeah, he'll fall in the snow. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not dangling him over the edge like Mufasa or
Batman
Michael
again.
Jackson.
well, I don't know what you guys are up to. Yeah, you feel this like tugging like sensation, sort of in your chest, in your stomach, and suddenly you vanish and reappear on the ground like a good 70 feet away from the pillar. You're gonna have to dash to get to Carrick's body, but you can do that.
Cool. I will do that, and as the soonest that I can.
Yeah.
Sorry, world. That was just the jolt of Vortex Warp. The soonest that I can. Is this worth it? I'm gonna cast Revivify.
Okay. Can you make me a religion check?
That's cocked. Religion 18.
18. As you see the fallen body of Carrick, covered as he is in his tattoos, once dedicated to Vias, now desecrated by these scarifications reminiscent of cracks and lightning. You feel something tell you that maybe you should just let him die.
I guess and I feel his soul, because the willingness of the soul to come back to the body is important in resurrection magic, and I think in reaching out and making contact with the soul, to be like, your ride is here. Yeah, it's like if you're a taxi driver and you or a chauffeur and you turn up and your prospective passenger, you meet them and you immediately find out that they're a nightmarish monster, or they are like someone who has like been so corrupted by such a being steeped for so long in such negative thoughts, that they're not willing to come back, as well as
It's not that. That's not the vibe you get from the body. This is something you get from the gods.
okay.
But the body itself, as well, the soul, there is a hesitancy there. Because it recognizes you as its enemy. And it does not know why you want it to return.
Fair. Yeah, so I'm reaching into my pouch and pulling out like a 300 gold diamond as I'm running through the deep snow towards this body, and my hand starts to glow, and I get this kind of this instinctive kind of revulsion feeling, and I kind of stop and I put it away, and then I kind of grab him by the ankle and just start walking back to
You're giving up on the ritual?
Yes.
Okay.
You made me
So-
triple guess myself.
Well, so you can
so
keep
guys-
trying,
so-
but it's not.
no.
You're gonna need to make a couple of skill checks in order to persuade it to.
And also,
back.
of course, the gods would not want this person coming back because this person is a direct kind of threat to their power.
Yep.
I think. I think maybe my curiosity and my need to understand what the hell is going on might get the better of me. How many diamonds do we have? We have 2. It's a lot of money. Oh god, why did I take this big swing? Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Can you make me a persuasion check, please? Try to persuade the soul to return.
17.
Okay. You feel there is still a hesitancy because it still doesn't understand what you want with it. Will you harm it? Will you punish it? But it's starting to come back slowly. You're gonna need one more skill check to persuade
So,
it.
what I'm doing with this persuasion is, is saying like, I just want to talk. You've been abandoned by your allies. They left you for dead. I just want to understand. So that was my persuasion, but I can do it. Do I need to do a different skill for the?
You can do a persuasion check again. It will be a slightly higher DC that you've been rolling above the DC so far.
Well, that was just flavor for the first.
Yeah. No,
persuasion.
you can do another skill check as well if you want.
Would that be a lower DC?
It would be the same DC as the 2 you've made so far.
Yeah,
Religion
okay.
and persuasion checks.
I'm going to make a nature check.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm going to make a history check. No, I'm going to make an insight.
Well, tell
check.
me what it is you want to do, and I'll tell you which check's most appropriate.
Okay. I would like to. Yeah, I think this is probably insight. I would like to try to align my spiritual presence, my soul, trying to kind of align it temporarily with theirs to see if I can see almost things from their spiritual point of view for a second, to try and understand why their soul feels that certain ways about the gods, about returning, about the world, to try and understand their motivations.
Cool. Yeah, that would be an insight check.
19.
With that final moment, trying to get a grasp of what Carrick's soul is sort of made of, you get this overwhelming sense of rage and grief and pain. Before that grief and the pain is swallowed up again by even more anger. And feeling these feelings yourself, it's not characteristic for Nimbo to feel rage in this way, but you've had your moments. And you tap into one of those, and in that brief moment you manage to drag Carrick's soul back into his body. It's a shuddering gasp.
I think as he wakes up with a gasp, I'm kind of like I just kind of angrily wrenched him back into this life.
He sees you.
I cast Shillelagh and I hold my club kind of against his neck, just in a kind of like, please don't try anything. My eyes are saying please, and the Shillelagh is saying don't try anything.
He sees you. He looks at the club. And he sort of casts his glance around, sees the indentations in the snow where Artemis fell. The footsteps leading away.
They left you. I just want to understand.
Just fucking kill me.
In this time, I would have gotten myself down to the ground. And be close by, I would have hoped, by this point.
Would you have gone to find the armor first, or would you have just made your way over to Nimbo?
I think I want to support Nimbo. I know where the armor is around somewhere.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, you managed to catch up to them at this point.
Why'd you bring him back?
I need to understand. We need to understand. We've been killing people by the dozen just because they're in our way and they think we're their enemy. We don't really understand what the Fisher want. We can't just position ourselves as, in opposition to whatever's in front of us. We need to understand what we're opposing. Just like, we need to understand the power structures that we live in so that we can deconstruct them. Stuff like this as well.
Well, let's get him tied up.
All right.
But I will take out some rope and hog tie him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of keeping eye contact with what was his name? Sorry,
Carrick. Yeah. While you two are doing that, Muck and Blurta, you're still up on the plateau, with an unconscious elven cultist and a rucksack and the corpse of a 1,000-year dead champion of Vias, and a planar seal.
I would like to. I think I just want to make an Arcana check to start off with, just to kind of better understand the magics at play here.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
That'll be a 21.
There is an incredible amount of magic at play here. You've seen one of these seals before, but only after it was broken. So you didn't know exactly what sort of magic it would be emanating, if any. This is probably the most powerful magic you've ever seen at work. It's so thick you can almost feel it, like an anchor or a nail in a coffin that's keeping something locked up tight. This seal is completely undamaged, but you can see that some of the runes, tiny marks have been scratched in amongst them very recently to change the runes to different runes, essentially.
And do I have a sense of what this would achieve?
Not on its own. This is magic that is beyond anything you would know without someone explaining it or reading more about it.
That's fair enough.
Muck, what are you up to?
I think Muck can see the cogs turning in Blurta's head, and with everything like they've gone through over the past, amount of time and the suspicions that have been raised about Blurta, I think Muck sees her looking at the seal and just steps in front of her and just says, "Look, Blurta, I don't know what to do right now. I just think anything that happens with the seal, we should do all together. I don't want to treat you like you've done something wrong, because you haven't. And there have been a lot of people putting thoughts into my head that maybe there's something that you want to do that you haven't shared with us. I don't know. I just really don't know at this point. So maybe if just for now we can leave the seal. And I mean, I've been really hurt by a bunch of cursed items before, and there's a backpack over there. So maybe we can start there and work up to the bigger magic thing.
I was just making sure that there was nothing like immediately going to blow up in our faces. Otherwise, I was literally going to go loot the bodies.
Insight check.
Deception or persuasion?
It's a 4 from me.
It's a 22 from me.
Mark just kind of like searches for any indication of anything that she can read in Blurter's face, but this is just not her strong suit. So just goes, okay, fine. And, you know, continues to trust Blurter, but is kind of looking out of the corner of her eye just in case. Like, it feels like we've come so far, and to be betrayed now by one of her friends would literally probably feel worse than all of the, like, massive pain she's felt in battle. She just doesn't want it to happen.
Blurter is literally going to go start, like, rummaging through people's pockets for coins.
They're not carrying any money.
For fuck's sake.
They are. You can find quite a few of like survival equipment, similar to the equipment you'd be carrying, but they've packed light. They've not packed anything that could be perceived as unessential.
Is it possible to still see to the top from where we both are right now?
No, the snowstorm's still going. You have no idea what Muck and Blurter are up to. And with how the plateau is, because it's sheer, like 90-degree angle, it would be difficult regardless.
We should try and get back up there.
Yeah. Can you walk? I'd say to... What was the name again?
Carrick? He's hog-tied.
I've tied his legs. He's
Okay.
going to have to carry him.
So no.
Put him in the bag.
Blurta has the bag.
I will carry...
Carrick.
I'll carry him to the base of the pillar. I don't think I'll be able to climb up with him.
Probably not. He is just unwieldy. Even if like the weight wouldn't give you too much trouble, you need both your hands to climb.
Because also I'm strong, but I'm not like Muck strong, you know?
No, but Furbolgs can carry extra.
Oh yes, yeah, I can carry double.
Because you're cows.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely carry him to the base. Blurta and Muck, are you doing anything else at the top?
Yeah, Muck would like Blurter to just, if possible, give this backpack the once over, because we're around a lot of really powerful magic, and I just don't want to get cursed and die again.
So, should I Arcana it or investigate it?
Look, this is your area of expertise.
Neither will tell you if it is cursed. That requires an identify.
Right.
Okay.
But you can make an Arcana check to see if there's anything obvious about it.
just write cursed on in like marker. That's weirdly cocked. That managed to land on a soft cable. For a 16 Arcana.
There are no arcane markings on this backpack at all. It looks almost identical to some of the other backpacks of equipment, just smaller.
I get out my crowbar and just like hook it on the end of the crowbar and so like carry it.
Okay, sure. It's really light.
It's more just because I don't want to touch it than the weight of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we both, have no idea what's going on. Blurter, I do trust you. So if anything happens to me, just find a way to uncurse me. And Muck starts to open the bag.
Okay. It's filled with papers.
Oh. Cursed papers. No, okay. What do they say?
Yeah,
Reading
you can
check.
you can take them out, make a literacy check, and it's just a general
Muck
check your
can't
intelligence
read.
on you. How'd you get through school?
Titans.
Yeah, looking through these papers, Muck, it definitely like it starts off. You're like, okay, I think I understand some of this. It's all talking about magic, and then you get to one page, and it's like showing a 4-year-old like really complex calculus, because suddenly it's like you have no idea what any of these words mean. There's writing in like 4 different languages. There's all these symbols and like diagrams.
Blurter, this is wizard shit.
Wizard shit I can do, or stuff we leave for M.
Oh, you
Let's
want me
leave
to
it
find
for
out?
them.
Make an Arcana check looking at it, Blurta.
19.
19. Again, there are still bits of it which, reading through it, clearly the person who wrote these notes understood what they were doing, but you're struggling to like follow how they got to certain points. But it also makes sense in a way. They are a stack of notes about harvesting the magical powers from the seal without breaking it.
Okay, so
Wow.
long story short, I think they were like gonna like skim some of the magic off the top for their own uses without breaking the seal.
And
the-
that would explain the new marks that have been made among some of the runes.
At this point, I don't even know if that's the most fucked up thing. Like, I don't know, man. Let's have a group chat about this once those guys are done down there. I hope they're okay.
We reached the bottom of the pillar, and I'm gonna try to call up to. In fact, I have thaumaturgy,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna be like, "Yo, yo, yo, yo!"
Avalanche.
There is a blizzard happening. No, you, Muck, and Blurta, amidst the screaming wind, you do think you hear Nimbo calling to you, maybe? But it's easy enough to walk over to the edge and check. And
I
see,
cast light on the tip of my club, and I'm kind of waving it like a semaphore.
Do I have a rope? Let's have a look.
You have 50 feet of rope.
I do have a 50-foot rope. Yeah, I'll just
There we go.
secure that and drop it down for you.
I'll hold the rope.
There's enough bits of ruins that you can secure the rope and climb down.
Okay.
I guess it'll take both of your ropes tied together, because if we need to
Okay.
get it 50 feet down and there's 50 feet of rope,
Yeah.
we've got enough to
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to get down to the floor necessarily.
Unless you
Anyway,
want to climb
we've
up.
tie
got
them together.
doesn't matter.
You
We've got enough
have-
rope.
You've got enough rope.
Okay, cool. So I will kind of, you know how you can like sometimes wrap, like tie something kind of crossways, bandolier style.
Mhm.
I kind of like a satchel.
Yeah.
I will put the hogtied guy.
Oh, I thought everyone was going down.
Oh, is everyone actually no? Okay, everyone's coming down. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That means Muck, you need to carry the
Yeah, I can do that.
unconscious
Oh, I
three.
thought, yeah.
Oh, I'm taking the little guy
I
as well.
don't
Okay.
care where you beat. I just thought you were all heading down. It's more sheltered at the base of the pillar. So if you want a long rest, you'll need to be at the base rather than out in the exposed part of the platform.
Whilst
Yeah.
the rest of them are all deciding, are we going up? Are we going down? I'm looking for this armor.
Yeah, it's relatively easy to find because it landed on top of the snow. And you are able. It is a set of half plate, which has the by now even to you very familiar symbol of Thias carved into the front and on the epaulets. Beyond that, it looks fairly simple. It's not overly extravagant or anything. But you also recognize it as the armor that you have seen Shoho wearing in the visions you have had of him.
And I cast detect magic on it.
It's very magical.
Does this look like something that would fit me?
Potentially.
Okay.
Magic armor tends to sort of shape itself to the wearer.
I don't put it on just yet, but I hold on to it.
Yeah.
We'll wander back towards the rope, and are people coming down, or is Nimble going up?
Are we
We're
going to
coming
try and get
down.
this unconscious guy down too?
Oh, I can definitely
Muck
carry
can
an
carry.
unconscious
If
elf.
you, yeah. Muck can sort of, and you've got the bag as well, so it's
Don't need
easier to get him down. Yeah. Yeah.
If
You
you
can-
all get down, I am going to take the rope and climb back up.
You're going to speak to Shoho.
We've left the body there.
Isn't that where the? So did the body look like when we were up at the top? Did the body look like it had been there for ages, or that it
Yes.
had been brought there?
No, it had been there.
Okay,
And we're going back up to the seal. Like,
but if M wants to go get the bones, then that's
It's not bones. It is.
Oh,
a
sorry, it's
frozen
freeze-dried.
corpse.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
bog
yeah,
body.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so freeze drying works
mummy.
by, so when you freeze a biological bit of matter, whether it's an Unkyna paladin or a raspberry, basically a lot of the water kind of expands as ice, and the ice crystals form and kind of poke through the outside of the raspberry or the Unkyna, because A, it's a higher volume, and B, it kind of pierces through the membranes of all the cells and stuff that it's in. Then, if that kind of melts, some of that will evaporate. And if you're freeze drying a raspberry, you'll do it in like a vacuum, so that as the temperature slowly rises, anything that melts gets immediately taken away. And then you can do that a couple of times until there's no liquid water left in there, and no water left, well, very little water in there at all. That's how the Mayans used to preserve potatoes. They would leave them out overnight at a high altitude, and then in the morning they'd go up as the kind of ice on the outside was melting, squeeze the potatoes as hard as they could, get most of the water out, then leave them out another few nights, repeat, until they had like potato kind of preserved potatoes. And these could last for years.
I'm picturing a really weird breakfast cereal now.
potato nuggets.
You get a D8. Hello.
And I'll add on to that just if you're in the lab and you're trying to preserve some cells at very low temperatures, what we tend to do is take bacteria, for instance, bacterial cells, and put them in a 10% glycerol stock. And this glycerol is cryoprotective, like it kind of stabilizes the cell membranes to stop that water expanding and blowing up the cell, essentially. So yeah, glycerol stocks of bacteria. That's how we do a bunch of cell cultures and transfections and lovely, messy, wet biology stuff.
I'm going to add on to that there are some species of animal in the world that have like different sort of things in their blood that allow them to survive the process of being frozen without without sort of puncturing their cell membranes and thus being biologically unable to come back. I believe there's some kinds of frogs that can do that. And I want to say a moth, at least. And probably a lot of other stuff that I'm forgetting about.
Cool. Sam, anything to add for a D8?
No, I'm climbing the rope.
Muck and Blurt also get D8s. You make it to the top again, and you see Shohul's body is frozen as if he had been kneeling.
Do I get any sense of that feeling or aura around?
It's definitely, it's not as strong as it was as at your family's graves, but it's stronger again. You get the sense that this is what he wanted.
Would you like me to leave you here?
If you could put me back upright, that would be very kind.
Am I okay to take this armor?
I'm not sure you will be able to use it. But your Furbolg friend, perhaps.
And I just wanted to
I'm
make
not
sure it was
using it
okay for me
anymore.
to remove it.
Of course.
I will shift the body onto its knees and move it back towards the seal.
You actually find that, like, brushing away some of the snow near the seal, there's almost 2 divots where Shohul's knees would have rested for a millennium. And you're able to place him back in the same position, essentially keeping his last watch.
I put him there, and then I will take the hide out that I got when we met the dragon, and pin it to the back of his shoulders. Rest well.
Thank you.
And then silently go back down.
Okay. While Em was doing that, Carrick is conscious, the elf is not. Is there anything you 3 wanted to be doing?
Do we want the elf conscious?
Maybe let's deal with people one at a time.
Valid.
You. Shade Grove. You got your friend cut you off and started some kind of fight when you were partway through. You were partway through saying what you wanted. They obviously don't give a shit. They've gone without you.
I'm not the one who started that fight, kid.
Semantics. But what have you got to lose?
At this point, not much.
So, copper for your thoughts?
What are you going to do to me?
Honestly, I hadn't thought that far ahead. Just been kind of improvising at the moment.
Kids are in way over your head.
Yeah, no shit. But
Why
we're in,
bother?
so we don't really have much of a choice.
You always have a choice.
Of course we have a choice. We have many choices. But
Yes.
we don't really have the ability to disengage from all of this shit that's going on without consequence, without danger. And we don't understand the situation enough to know what the right decision is. That's why we started by talking. We wanted to understand what was going on. But your friend there seemed to
Your
think that was
friend.
whoa, let me finish. Like, your friend there just seemed to talk like it was fruitless, like it was completely pointless talking with us.
All you were going to do was try to stop us. And I was right.
To be
We
fair,
didn't-
your guy zapped us first.
Your little furry friend brought out their wand.
Yeah, maybe they were going to cast Bless.
He just gives you a look. Like, do you really think I'm an idiot?
Okay. But what were you even trying to do anyway?
Talking did not serve us 30 years ago. If we'd not stopped to talk, that stupid dwarf, we would have succeeded then.
What dealings did you have with the now sovereign?
There was a different leader of the fissure then. She was incredible. Truly, one I would gladly have worshipped for all eternity.
Worshipped?
She
What made her
understood.
worthy of your worship?
You don't deserve to know. You wouldn't understand. And she is long gone, so why should I tell you?
Because the only way that she can ever be around now that she's gone is by you telling people, by you telling me.
What do you think I've been trying to do? I kept the fissure going for decades.
So,
Our end goal always remaining the same.
Which was to
To
become
free
gods
Rokaros.
yourselves?
To free Rokaros and to use...
Why would you want to free a titan of greed?
I don't care what he represented. I care what he could represent to us.
punching cities?
So you wanted just power?
Who doesn't?
I mean,
You see...
you were bad-mouthing our third friend. Actually, they have been pretty pivotal in us as a group, like questioning our relationship with power and systems of power and government. So, yeah, you know, we are children. We are learning about the world as we go.
Then you will learn like I did, because I was like you once, Thunderchild. Blind faith in everything the gods told me, in everything my government told me. I
Actually,
did
my
little
faith isn't that
quests.
blind.
We
The
literally
gods-
came here to hear you out. Like the conversation we were trying to have with you was to see whether we wanted to like support what you were doing, and you just ignored us. And you just said, "Let's start the ritual." That literally could have been the end of the world. So genuinely,
Would that be
we
so
thought
bad?
nonsense. Well, we don't know because you won't talk to us.
Also,
I don't owe you an explanation.
At this point, getting towards the bottom of the rope. It's amazing being cynical, isn't it? Like you really are like a delight to be around. My friend here brought you back from beyond.
The gods
should-
told me not to.
You should thank him for that.
I don't owe you shit, and I sure as hell will not be thanking you.
And you're pathetic.
Should I be grateful that I am alive to see that I have failed yet again? That the person I put my trust in because I thought that she would be great has betrayed me.
Well, that's what happens when you put all of your faith and all of your ambition, and you concentrate all of that into one person or figure or anything that's gonna save you.
Well, you've got it all figured out then.
No,
haven't you?
I don't. This is just what am thinking right now. Like I am on. I've been on such a
So you brought
journey.
me back to gloat, and I should thank you.
No. Ugh. Yes, you should thank us, really, but that's not what I brought you back for. You shouldn't do things just for the promise of gratitude. That's a shitty reason to do stuff. No.
put it this way: you were siphoning power. What were you siphoning the power for?
Thanks,
To
Berta.
free Rokaros from his bindings.
And what did you think Rokaros could represent to you?
You say you are disillusioned with power. You are questioning it. Do you then not wish to destroy it?
To destroy power itself?
To destroy the current power?
Well, hell yeah, fight the power, but I don't have to bring a Titan back to do it.
Then
And
you
that's
are
just
fool.
instilling a whole different set of power. I'm not sure.
You think if you destroy the current power, another will not replace it?
That I do think that. That's why I'm confused about this Rokaros plan.
The whole point
To
of if you're gonna
control the Titan is to control the world.
and that's the problem.
A world made in our image.
Exactly, that's the
Not
problem.
in the image of gods who abandoned us a millennium ago.
The problem we have is that you want to rule the ashes, and that's such a smallness of imagination. Like, you could create any world that you wanted, and you want to make another top-down kind of oppressive world.
The world doesn't have to be made in anyone's image. Like, the most
Right.
beautiful things about our world were not crafted by some grand design. They simply arose through evolution and adaptation. And that's the kind of world that I want to live in. One that is dynamic and free, and where, you know, there's not just one overarching form of power, but instead we commune together and we shape what the world looks like. Your vision for the world sucks.
Well, then it's a good thing that I didn't bother to hear you out, but I really wish you would have just left me for dead, because then I wouldn't have to hear it now.
Who was the little one that ran away with your Dragonborn friend?
I think they were just far away.
You might as well tell us some more about the Dragonborn as well. I mean, like, hell, she ain't on your side, so.
Artemis is one of the most powerful wizards we could find on the continent.
I told you it was wizard shit, Berta.
Yep.
Why
It
should I
smells
tell
like wizard
you?
shit.
Can't be that powerful if a bunch of idiot kids killed him. Or almost killed him.
He wasn't dead.
It was very close to it.
Sorry, what pronouns does Artemis use?
He, they.
Okay, gotcha.
Why should I tell you who leads the fissure now? Clearly you've no desire to see their ambitions fulfilled.
So,
I mean, apart from the greed Titan, we have been, you know, we have been on a little bit of a journey with our relationship with power and systems. And destruction is important for creation. You know, it's naive to think that you can just create without any destruction. But really, the idea of greed kind of does think that. The idea of greed does represent this idea that you can continue to accumulate forever. Like infinite accumulation. And that just, it runs completely in the face of A, how the actual universe works, and B, the needs and rights of everyone else around you. How can you think that you can harness that power without it corrupting you? And how can you claim any kind of moral high ground if you're using that emotion and that power?
I've never attempted to claim any sort of high ground.
But even
Okay,
on
cool,
a
at least you're
practical
honest.
level, like your own logic should have told you that, of course, your bestie's going to betray you because he also wants more power. Like, just on a practical note, I feel like your battle strategy is just all wrong.
I thought this new leader was like my mistress of old.
Man, it's all these authoritarians, man. They just love putting all their eggs in one shitty basket.
You need to think with this, man. You can't be thinking about their mistresses with that. You need to think up there. Yeah.
She is far too young
Ooh.
for that. For me. For
Okay,
you.
at least you got some scruples.
I'm not a libertarian.
Thank God. How about this is the start of our common ground. We all hate libertarians. Fuck those guys.
If you don't destroy the seal, she will come back.
Who is she?
You've still not given me a good reason to tell you. Your utopias that you dream of will not exist.
Just because the end extreme of utopia might be unobtainable doesn't mean we shouldn't try to shift things in that direction. Doesn't mean we shouldn't aim for a fair and just world. If you're just like, okay, cool, everything's gonna be some kind of extreme power concentration, I might as well be at the top. That's just giving up. That's the weakest thing you can do.
You'll come to think more like me in time.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah, well, that's a long time.
Go to therapy.
I bunk him on the head with my mace.
Okay, he
Yeah.
falls unconscious.
Boring conversation anyway.
He was exhausting.
Did we actually did we learn anything from him?
I mean, not really. We got a tiny bit of clarity, but I think most of what we learned is that he isn't at all willing to see anything from any point of view, or to contemplate any question, let alone any common ground.
The official want to replace the sovereign, essentially. Like, there will be no revolution through them.
So it's cool to know. I mean, that has helped to confirm that, you don't have to hand it to them. Both can be bad.
Shall I just kill this little unconscious elf? Like,
He's
we're gonna get out of this.
starting to come to at this point.
He might be easier to intimidate than
Yes, that's true.
All right,
that was my thinking. He seems like if you're just a minion, you're not so kind of wrapped up in the power play level of things.
Does someone more intimidating want to take over from here?
Can we, before we move on from here, can we separate these two so that he doesn't see the other one?
Yeah, I drag Carrig round the corner.
Did you say that there's a mechanic that we were using about gaining spell slots?
You can take a level of exhaustion to cast a spell. The level of exhaustion. Hold on, let me find out that works.
I could disguise self as Carrig.
Carrig left. We know that much. In this
I can disguise myself as Carrig, but I'm not as charismatic as you. But I have disguised self.
The guy you knocked out would have seen Carrig fly off.
Yeah.
So consider whether that would work.
So what I was thinking is, if we keep them separate, get the information off of the elf, knock him out again, confirm it with the other guy by telling him what we know, and make sure it matches.
Okay.
Like that.
You can absolutely do that. Do we want to take a quick 5-minute break before we get into that?
Can do.
Sure.
Cool. See you soon, folks. And we're back, and we've got another person to interrogate. It's the elf, he managed to sort of like rub some snow on his already quite cold face, and he finally comes to.
So who's with him? I think Nimbo said that you were taking the other guy away.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and be as intimidating as possible. Muck is gonna try and be as intimidating as possible.
Okay.
Okay, so we wake the guy up. Yeah, a little bit of patted snow on your face. All right, buddy. Time to talk. It's just you. Everyone else is gone.
What do you want to know? I don't know if I can tell you much, but please don't kill me.
You're muted again, Rachel.
What is the Fisher's big plan? What's the point?
They want to resurrect the Titan.
And what's your role in it then?
I'm just helping out, I guess. I don't really have a specific job.
What do you think, gang? Is he telling us what we want to know? Or do you have some other questions to ask?
So, let me get one thing fundamentally straight. So, as we understand it, and feel free to correct me at any time, the plan of the Fisher, ergo yourself, is to resurrect the Titan Rokoros, control it, and use the world to make a new world in your image.
Yeah.
Right. So my follow-up
If you
question then
understand
is,
all that, what questions could you possibly have?
what is your
Who's the woman at the top?
Also that.
Woman?
Who's in charge of the
Carrick's-
Fisher?
Carrick's in charge.
No, he's not. There's someone above.
Well, I didn't agree to that.
What did you agree to?
Carrick's understanding of how things should be. That's what I've agreed to follow. Not. What do you mean? Carrick wouldn't lie to us.
You've been lied to. Hate to tell you, you've been lied to. Carrick wants power, but there's someone up above him. Can you think of anybody that Carrick potentially idolizes or reveres in great detail? Any war stories he's told you?
Sure, I know all about the one who was the leader before him. We all do.
Perfect. I love it so much when you give me a reason not to punch you in the face. So, what
I'd
can you
like
tell
that
me
too.
about her?
She's been dead 30 years.
Name?
I don't know.
Are you
The only-
sure you don't know?
Any description of her?
It was before my time. She was. I think she was his lover or his wife. I don't. Furbolgs are complicated.
Was
might
she
have
also
been
a
his
Furbolg?
sister. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I
Okay.
heard she was a Furbolg, and she died when they tried to bring Rakaros back on the Lost Isle.
Well, probably not the first, probably not the last. Shit.
So the question I want to know is, so the world is being remade in your image. What actually is this image that you're trying to make? Because this seems a bit hazy to me.
Is that important? I don't know that. Like,
I think it is.
The gods abandoned us when
Yeah.
the planes were sealed.
Sure.
But we continue to do their bidding.
what do you mean they abandoned us? They still talk to people. They are still here. We still have the magics of the world.
They talk to you? Because they've never talked to me.
And just because someone's not talked to you, then it means they don't care about you.
They don't care about you They don't care about me because of everything that's happened to me.
What's happened to you?
What hasn't? Everyone I've ever loved is dead. I had nothing before the fissure found me.
Okay, disillusioned incel. This conversation's over for me. I don't really want to have this again. Muck, Blurter, continue if you must.
I do wish to pursue this slightly. So, okay. I see the frustration about not having the divine present in your life in the way that you would like. And I see the plan is to bring back this giant supernatural entity to remake the world in your image. What I don't understand is why you aren't in the middle place of well, I'm just gonna go my own way. What makes you go that extra step of making weird rituals on top of a mountain?
We can't free Rakaros without the weird rituals on top of the mountain.
But why Rakaros at all? Because to me,
because how can you become a god?
Why do you need to become a god?
I don't need to become a god. Carrick is going to become a god. And then finally, someone in power will care about me.
So, let me get this straight. Rakaros is the Titan of Greed.
He is not going to be in charge.
Is what the person who is in close proximity to the Titan of Greed is not going to in any way become greedy and enforce their own greedy, selfish wills upon the world.
The person who abandoned you is not going to abandon you.
The cause is greater than me.
I don't know how to tell you this, but you are a victim of grooming. I'm so sorry. I really wish there was a world in which you found a community that wasn't trying to end the world. Yeah, but not really. I think
they all died, and no one helped me except the fissure.
I feel really bad killing this guy now because he's really got nothing.
We're not taking him.
Yeah, you're just gonna run straight back to them, aren't you?
Don't know if I'll get off this mountain alive.
I'll tell you what.
But I've not really got anything else to go back for.
How about this? Let's indulge your story a little bit here. Here, I'm going to give you, let's say, 190 gold. And we can probably spare some supplies to help you get off the mountain.
I mean, we had a lot of mountain climbing gear.
Yeah. So, this is a point where somebody has helped you, and I ask for nothing in return, just that you go and live a life, and hopefully a good one.
You're really weird. Does this mean you're gonna untie me?
I mean, yeah, that would kind of defeat the point in my plan if I didn't untie you.
Then now, please.
I untie him?
No.
Bart has untied him. But you can speak.
Check with everyone before you let people go, Blurter.
I mean, I'm. You guys are well armed, and I'm currently feeling slightly underdressed.
I mean,
Are you gonna tie me up again?
I mean, he probably will die very shortly if we don't untie him.
Yeah, if we leave him here, he dies. If we kill him, he dies. If we give him some gold and hope he gets to the road, he might not die.
Okay.
So
I'm going to voice that I think this is a mistake. But there are more of you than there are of me. So if you want to let him go, let him go.
Can I do a religion check to see what Idor thinks?
Sure.
Okay, big guy. We killed a bunch of dudes just like this dude like 5 minutes ago, but this one just seems like a survivor of some real traumatic experiences. If we let this guy go, is that justice, or should we, in the quest of the greater good? Oh, I don't like the way that sounds. But should we just off him now? All right, 3, 2, 1. Tell me. I got a 2. I rolled a 2, so I'm not going to add anything to that.
You think you hear something, and then you realize that it's just like some rocks shifting and like trees creaking in the wind. And
cool. You make your own justice. Fuck it. You can go. Just and Muck kind of eyes the direction that Nimbo carried the other guy to go that way and points in the opposite direction.
The elf scrambles sort of to his feet slowly and backs away from the three of you, like occasionally glancing behind him to make sure he doesn't walk into anything.
I just like
until
flick him a little bag of
corner.
coin that contains that 190 gold.
Oh yeah, he'll scoop that up, and he is once he turns the corner, he's gone.
Also, just for the record, like if we are on this, we're still worried about this justice dragon. Like killing prisoners, probably not a good idea.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, again, we didn't learn anything.
Yes, we did. We learned that his lover lady died the last time they tried to free Rakaros. We didn't know that before.
We knew that she died 30 years ago.
I didn't put those two things together.
And I think the thing we are learning here is that this seems to be a very top-heavy organizational structure, because these guys, well, if they're anything like this one, seem to know piss all and are largely in it out of desperation.
It's generally what like a gang is. It's generally what people who are operating outside of the law are people that are desperate, working for people that fuck them over.
But we didn't know that, and now we know for sure. Sorry, Em, I know you're pissed off that we let this one go, but like...
We've not learned anything. And now I expect we're probably going to let this other guy go. And that's a mistake.
Well, no, that guy's filled with rage.
Yeah, like that guy I'm less bothered about.
Nimbo, what have you been up to?
I have been keeping an eye on Carrig, and thinking about where I stand with regards to what we need to do next. And I've been thinking that it's actually it's both a scary prospect that the Fisher are still trying to siphon off power from these ancient planar seals to essentially create a new god that will remake the world in a position where they're on top. While that is frightening, it's also a bit of a relief, because that means that actually if we do need to destroy the seals to reunite Varea and Chaos, then we wouldn't be doing the Fisher's work for them. Because that is something that had been really weighing on Nimbo's mind. So there's that. I think that's what he's been pondering.
Cool. Eventually, you can drag him back to where the rest of the
But
group
I think
is
it
if
will
you
probably
wanted to.
happens the other way around.
Or
These
they
guys
can
probably
come
come
into
around.
the
to
yeah.
You regroup.
All right. Oh, where'd the other guy go?
Yeah, we let him go. We quizzed him, got a little bit out, and thinks we got nothing out. But it just didn't seem worth killing. Like, we're not murder hobos. He wasn't gonna.
Yeah.
Even if he just goes back to the Fisher, like.
So you gave him climbing gear and warm clothes, right? And food.
Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
Cool. I hope there's a cloak shop near
Also,
the
we
summit of this
established that
mountain.
there's a lot of climbing gear on the guys we shoved off the cliff anyway. So
Okay. So he's not just strolling off into a blizzard at the top of a
Oh, no.
mountain
No,
with
we
nothing but a
tried
pocket
to-
full of money.
even
We
with
gave him the
fighting
best chance we could.
Insight. 16.
Yeah, I got a, what is that? 5 on my
Does Muck
Persuasion
believe
check.
that you gave him the best chance that you could?
I believe that we gave him the best chance we could under the circumstances, while also having another captive that we needed to juggle. And I don't even know if we really did the right thing. Like, Muck is just really a little bit in over her head.
unless we
You do an
personally
inside
escorted
check and a
him back.
massive thought bubble appears, just showing all of Mushroom thoughts.
Yeah.
Because it sounds from what we have learned today and since, so today and before, it seems like the Fisher is just another vertical power structure, just like the one we're living under.
Just like that big ice column.
And we can't trust either of them.
Mhm.
And apparently the Fisher 30 years ago were the ones trying to wake up Rakaros, and Carrick's partner died then. Oh, no,
She
sorry,
was apparently also a Firbolg.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's when the current sovereign came to power, because they were the only survivor of some kind of horrific accident on the Lost
Massive
Isle.
earthquake on the Lost Isle.
Yeah. So, do we think that the sovereign was just a member of the Fisher who betrayed the others to come out on top? So they potentially, sabotaged their operation from the inside to become not a god but a sovereign.
Couldn't put it past them based on what we've heard already.
And
The
maybe
only things you've heard in reference to the Sovereign that Carrick has said, which was right before the battle started last session, was that the Sovereign foiled their plans 30 years ago. But you don't know what that means.
Just layers on layers from this.
Where does this leave us? What are we doing? Are we...
Well, we need to check whether they actually succeeded in siphoning power off this seal. And then we need to decide what to do with the seal. But first, we need to fucking rest.
Yes. That was going to be my point of order there.
Are we keeping him warm for the night?
Yeah.
I think we should.
What's wrong, Nimbo?
Someone's going to need to keep an eye on him. And in the longer term, we can't. We need to work out what we're going to do with them. Honestly, doesn't sound like he wants to be alive. And I get, releasing a prisoner who is a brainwashed victim of a cult, and who, is largely a product of the circumstances. And if we're gonna try and be changing the world, then maybe we need to try and be the change we want to see in the world, where we can. But is this guy too dangerous and committed, too far gone to be left out in the world?
I
I
vote
think
yes.
that's a question for the morning.
But I mean, he's got all night then to maybe escape.
And I can't stay up this evening. I'm exhausted.
Maybe there's a sense he's literally begged us for death. I could make it quick.
Honestly, I think that might be for the best. He's unconscious at the moment. He won't feel anything.
Okay. And Muck walks up to. Wait, is everyone on board with this plan?
I'd maybe take him away from here if we're going to sleep here.
Well, we can just go around to the other side of the thing.
Yeah, I won't corpse the whole place up. Don't worry,
mean,
don't worry.
Look,
To be
there
honest,
are
we should-
bodies around 2 of the sides of the pillar already.
So yeah, so we're going to want to camp on the lee side, the
mean-
side that the wind isn't blowing on. So
Yeah.
let's go around to the other side to do the execution.
Look,
Yeah.
I suggest we're going to want to move away from here anyway, because there's going to be like wolves and coyotes and shit all over here.
We're on a
I
whole
don't-
mountain.
We're right at the very top of a mountain.
Yeah, we're fine. I think we're fine. We're good enough.
And
It's good enough.
you're getting to the point where you fought the Remoras today as well. You are getting to the point where you're all gonna start to need making con saves or take levels of exhaustion.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't mean like. I just didn't mean. I meant just like not right here. Like.
You are. It's gonna be an hour to get somewhere less exposed.
And this way it's basically a sky burial. If anything comes to eat him, it'll be vultures. If even they can get this high.
Yeah, I can take care of this, guys. Don't worry. You guys start setting up camp. I'll be back in a moment.
Thank you, Buck.
Muck.
I actually go with Muck.
Okay.
I just A, so that you've got a friend with you, and B, to kind of give this death a bit of respect.
Okay.
And to like commend this body back to nature. Even if this person had turned their back on Vias and on nature, I want to remake that cycle.
I think that's fair. Well, it's good to have a cleric at this sort of thing. Add Muck and Nimbo walk over. I think Muck's probably carrying the body over her shoulder.
Yeah.
Lays it in a strategic place.
As you do that, Nimbo, you notice the flutter of a single eyelid.
I say, hold up, Muck. And I lean down and I kind of pull open the eye and say, you got something
The
to
other
say?
one blinks open.
I let go. You got something to say? Because from the sounds of it, you're an incredibly dangerous and committed person who is set on a path of destruction. A path that will
I'm not
cause...
the one you need to worry about anymore.
Who
we
do we
still
need to
there?
worry about?
You
Is it-
flutter.
this mysterious person that you aren't going to tell us about, but you're going to say exists. It's this powerful wizard who you want to become a god. Okay, we get it.
Oh, she's not a wizard. She's much, much worse.
Warlock.
Among other things.
A grandmother? Oh my god.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You know, one warlock.
Two.
Oh yeah,
It's me all along.
you're a bard. Okay, I
Are you
think.
going to kill me now?
Yeah, I think we are.
I'd rather die if you give me a choice. To the forces of nature. Than to the hands of a person.
That can be arranged.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
be like me one day, Thunder Child. I'm sure of it.
Honestly, I really hope not.
And I also hope you didn't just waste your last words being loud and wrong.
I'll see you both in the hells. He closes
Until
his
then.
eyes and tilts his head back.
I am gonna take a level of exhaustion to cast.
Remember, he has 1 hit point.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Sleet Storm.
Nice.
You're gonna
So,
get him.
Just no.
What level is Sleet Storm?
3rd, I think.
Because it will be potentially more than 1 level of exhaustion then.
Oh,
It's
how's
dependent on spell level.
okay.
So that is either 3 levels of exhaustion if you can make a DC 13 con save, or 1 level of exhaustion. In 1 level if you make it, 3 if you don't.
That's not worth the risk, just for flavor. Okay, I will cast. Okay, I will cast Fog Cloud, to surround him in a moist mist that will, in these blizzard conditions and at this high altitude, will very quickly freeze to his skin, massively accelerating the loss of body heat, bringing on hypothermia really quickly, and so that we're not just leaving him out here while we sleep.
He's sort of leaned back against the side of the cliff, and you watch his breathing slowly stop.
I stay there until it stops.
Yeah, I think Muck stays there as well.
Can you imagine dying and just being moist in your last moments?
Like, honestly, I think I'd rather go with the head chopped off.
Yeah.
Well, actually, like you would be moist very briefly, and then it would freeze, and then you'd be kind of weirdly dry.
Yeah.
Mm.
As Carrick's
I don't wanna die
body
dry.
gone-
Moist, dry, death.
I know what the title is.
Write that down.
I have. As Carrick begins the process of freeze drying, he is, unless you resurrect him again in the first minute after he dies, deceased.
Glad we had that last chat. And I'm glad that it's going back to nature, kind of, in a way.
Nimbo, how do you think you want to die?
I want to die doing something good. I want to die. I want to die either having done something that helps people, or trying to.
Yeah.
More importantly for me, after I die. After I die, I want to be part of the world again. Please don't let Blurta bring me back as a skeleton or a zombie or something.
Deal.
I know she'd think it was funny.
Yeah.
How about you?
First of all, if Blurta brings you back as a skeleton or something, can you get her to make it a really big skeleton? Like, if I'm back in physical form after death, I want to be Big Muck. But if not,
Giant skeleton vibe.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Kind of always trained to expect to go out in a blaze of glory, but you know, I think something quieter would probably be nice. I mean, you know, a lot of people have died on this journey. It's kind of refreshing to see someone have a choice.
Yeah. I mean, had you killed anyone before this journey started?
I'm kind of ashamed to say it, but no. No.
Yeah, me neither. It's weird how quickly we became accustomed to it. Like, you know, yes, it started off and we were fighting shadow undead monsters crawling out of the ground in the middle of a scary earthquake, and the adrenaline kicks in and you do what you got to do. And then it's a spooky like deer spirit oozing negative plane energy that you find in a forest, and again you're doing what needs to be done. And then suddenly it's cultists, it's people, but yes, they're part of a scary group that we increasingly find out is trying to do terrible things. But yeah, it's weird how you just go into that place and you're just okay with it. I'm glad we had these conversations just now with the whole group about who we are.
Yeah, when you're taught to fight, you're just taught to think about an enemy. But I prefer to fight fair.
And having a big scary dragon that might kill you for being unjust might work some of the time, but we've got to have an internal compass.
Yeah, because this guy ain't fucking talking right now. Prick.
Yeah. And there won't always be a big scary dragon to tell us what to do. Yeah, that's what I've been coming to terms with. Talking with Vias and losing Varaya. Vias has been really helpful in some ways, and in some ways really unhelpful. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't have this infallible vision.
From now on, we gotta have a little justice dragon on our shoulder that's whispering in our ear. Don't just kill everybody, but maybe kill some people.
You know what? I think the real justice dragon was the friends we made along the way. And I give Mark a big hug.
I was going to say, the real justice dragon you've had sitting on people's shoulders because whispers about orgies.
Yeah, bro. Okay, I think I'm ready to go back. I need to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
You managed to make a moderately comfortable camp on the lee side of this pillar. During your long rest, you could... So Blurt has only been able to give the notes that you found a cursory read through, so you could read those more in depth. Someone could also spend some more time with the armor you found to try to figure out what its deal is, if those things are of interest.
I would gladly help someone look at the armor.
The other question during this rest is, do you want me to interrogate my shitbag patron about anything?
No.
Oh.
Not whilst we're here. We're too close.
Too dangerous.
Okay.
So I assume Blurt is staying out of the vessel. Cool.
I will hand over the armor to Nimbo and say,
"Oh my god!"
And Snow Song.
Sorry,
we've got a new name. Showhole Snow Thong.
Merch.
I don't think we can put that merch up for sale anywhere.
I know what I'm going to be for Halloween.
Snow Song thinks this is probably good for you.
Are you sure? Wow, I know how much this must mean to you,
No, I don't have any connection with that. That was a part of them, and I've made sure that they're happy. And so this is yours. You take it as a gift from
oh my God,
from me,
wow.
from Shohul, from the gods.
I look M in the eyes and I say, I really appreciate this. This means a lot.
don't mention it. Like genuinely, you don't need to. I'm too tired.
Okay, no more thanks. And I kind of will go and I'll kind of sit cross-legged, lay it out in front of me in the tent, and start to kind of arrange it and kind of examine it, like maybe like buff out a couple of scratches, just kind of getting into a meditative headspace to allow the divinity in through action. And Mark,
As you
did you say you
currently
wanted to
have
have a look as
open
well?
attunement slots, during this process, you could attune to it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'd like to attune to it, but like if Mark wants to come and look at it as well, that's
Yeah,
cool.
Mug can help you with this, and the attunement, you won't actually be able to use any of the effects unless you wear the armor, but you begin to sort of vibe with it.
Yeah, I
you
think
have
Muck
gained-
is. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think Muck is kind of like, you know, in a kind of like sitting squat behind, like, oh yeah, make sure you get under like the epaulets, or like, you know, in between where the elbow crease is, like using her
So
knowledge
what-
of
what-
like
Epaulet.
armor.
Double check the
Shoulder.
jockstrap, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to clarify, me as player knows what an epaulet is, God. But just Nimbo as priest.
God, you just inhabited the character so well. I just had to tell you. Yeah,
You
Muck's
have
just like
gained-
backseat driving.
You've gained the half plate of Vias, which you should be able to access on D&D Beyond, Khalil. It is a legendary item that requires attunement by a cleric or paladin, which is why M would not be able to use it. You have a +2 bonus to AC while wearing the armor. You gain the ability to read and understand Celestial, if you can't already do so. You have the protection of the gods, which means you have resistance to radiant damage and advantage on saving throws against spells cast by fiends, undead, and aberrations. And it has 3 charges, which it regains at dawn. You can expend 1 charge to cast a Blinding Smite as a bonus action, or 2 charges to cast Ice Storm as an action.
Oh my God. I think as this process is going on, you know, Muck's kind of constant kind of like, oh yeah, and da, 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 da. At first Nimbo is consciously listening, and then just like if you're like, I don't know, sewing in front of the TV, like the more you get into the sewing, the more the TV just kind of fades into the background. And so like it goes from like, oh yeah, just check under the epaulets, and oh that tie looks a little bit loose, and then it comes, and then like suddenly it's just I'm communing with Vias through the prayer of understanding this armor. And the like the momentousness of this thing, and also, you know, my echoes of conversations with Kerag about relationships with the gods are all just kind of swirling around, and I'm like really cementing the fact that my journey with faith has been that yes, the gods are real, and yes, they are powerful, and yes, they are sometimes distant, and yes, they are infallible. Sorry, they are fallible. And yes, they can be revered, just like you might revere any powerful thing. Like you could revere a whale, you could revere, like, you know, something that just has impetus to itself. But that doesn't mean that we need to be servants of them. And so while this is a lot of responsibility, it's also, I don't want to Spider-Man this, but it is like an awareness of the power and the responsibility, but not trying to take the responsibility, not trying to overburden myself with responsibility is what I mean.
I mean, there was that druid who turned into a spider all the time, and he just said such wise things.
Oh, it was his uncle who said the wise stuff.
Oh.
And while Nimbo and Muck are examining the armor, Em and Blurta, are either of you looking at those notes in more detail, or are you leaving it for later?
M wants to go to sleep.
Em can absolutely do that. Blurta?
I'll have a bit more of a skim.
Can Blurta make me just a general intelligence check?
She can. It won't be very good though. That's a 6.
6, yeah. There's something, as you're reading through them, there's something that catches, like, you don't know, there's something not quite right in this. You're reading all these notes about how harvesting this power from the seal without breaking it, and there's notes in the back as well about other ways that potentially Rokaros' chains could be freed. And there's something about that list that doesn't quite make sense. But you're too tired and you can't figure out what it is right now.
This text isn't properly justified.
Who's keeping first watch? Em's already asleep, so not Em.
I'm happy to.
As Blurta and Nimbo, you both settle down to sleep as well, with Muck taking the first watch. Blurta, as you start to sink into your meditation, you're finally fully relaxing after an incredibly tiring day. And it's right on the verge of, like, where your mind would reach its most unconscious point that you realize what was wrong with the text. You sit bolt upright. Looking at the text again, you see that one of the suggestions for how to break Rokaros' chains is just written 3 words. Wishara Wildless Blade. And you remember that the 4 of you are the only ones who know of its existence. And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Big things.
Oh, go on.
She's out there somewhere. Or
She's
maybe.
on the Lost Isle. From her scripture that you found in the mayor's dungeon, her final resting place is near Rokaros, so somewhere on the Lost Isle. But you don't.
Was she the Furbolg's girlfriend? Oh my god.
She's been dead for 1,000 years.
Oh, 1,000. Okay, that's not dirty.
But was she?
No,
And
one
she's
of-
not a Furbolg.
Wishara Wildness was the
Champion
the
of
champion
Chaos.
of Chaos,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
who
was
worked
the
with the other
one-
champions to steal the gods.
Yes.
And it was the one that Shohul told me might still be kicking around.
Mm-hmm.
And is she then the secret she that twat's talking about?
We'll find out next. Well, move things forward next time.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting closer. You're definitely getting closer.
God dang.
Mm.
The
Wow.
next session, the first thing you'll need to do is decide what the fuck you're doing about that planar seal.
Yep.
Yes.
But that's not time for that right now. Right now, it's time for you to decide who is your MVP this week. I'm not counting your collective MVP. That's like a separate thing that exists right now.
Cool. I mean, we had lots of Furbolg moments. Nimbo did a lot of debating.
Were you going to say Furbolg on Furbolg action?
I wasn't, but
That's
my
where
god,
mind
that
went.
is something I would say.
Exactly.
I've taught you well.
I think
Right.
Muck volunteering to do the execution, and then like that kind of conversation and journey was a really cool set of moments.
I really enjoyed the conversation about how would you like to die between Nimbo and Muck.
Yeah.
Alex, tiebreaker vote.
I was leaning to Nimbo as well. Just there was. I do enjoy a good Nimbo sort of philosophy. Spiel.
Youth pastor, yeah.
The Chidi of the group.
I think he might be Rainier Maria Rilke, the poet, constantly talking to an unknowable deity. But in very beautiful language. All right, Nimbo gets the Moment of Awesome to
Thank
use in an
you.
upcoming session, so make a note of that. And for all of our lovely viewers, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you again next week. Have a great evening, folks. Goodbye.
See ya.